morning. My name is Cindy, and welcome to this live broadcast of the Meeting of the Great Minds. I'm coming to you live from Dumont, New Jersey. You can catch us online at www.greatminds.com, or if you'd like to call in with a question, call 1-800-GREAT-MINDS. On today's episode, we have all the way from Rome, Artemisia Gentileschi. And somewhere else in that wonderful country of Italy, we have Petrarch. And lastly, we have Mary Wollstonecraft coming all the way from Spitalfields. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hello, my name is Mary Wollstonecraft.
Hello, I'm Artemisia Gentileschi.
Hello, I'm Petrarch.
On last week's episode, our viewers were asked to submit questions or topics that our panel would be able to discuss freely. Are we all ready to begin?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, great.
Okay, awesome.
After receiving thousands of responses from our viewers, we came to the conclusion that one of the most important topics that we want to discuss was that of education. Needless to say, the persons on our panel today are highly intelligent and highly educated, which leads to our first question. How important do you find education to be in general?
I find education to be incredibly important. Everyone in society should be educated. Another belief that I find very important is that men and women should have the equal opportunity for education. Girls should not be brought up to feel oppressed or feel like just housemaids. Women should be brought up to be intellectuals and be able to have their own beliefs and ideals that they can create and have their own values. They should be able to go out and believe in those values and try to campaign for them. Just like me, how I want women to not feel like everyday objects, not feel like domestic. Women should be able to feel equal to men.
I would have to agree with Wollstonecraft on this one. I also find education to be very important. I believe that men and women should be given the same equal chances to learn the skills and knowledge they need to become successful in life. Just like me. When I was growing up, I was one of the first female painters, and now look at me. I'm just as good as some of the men.
I believe that humans were indeed given their vast intellectual capacity for knowledge as a gift from God and should be used to the fullest extent. Humanism and exploring the capabilities of mankind and the mentality of the human race should be explored. Educating yourself by challenging yourself to learn more and be more is of the highest importance, I would say.
Thank you for that riveting discussion. Needless to say, you all find education to be of utmost importance, and I agree with you. The next most sought after topic that our viewers want to hear your thoughts about is that of religion.
Well, my thoughts on religion. I find myself to be a very religious person altogether. I do attend church. I do find myself to believe in God. But what I believe about religion is that religion nowadays tries to oppress women. Women were created to be equal to men. God created Adam, and he created Eve from Adam to be partners and to be equal. They were not created so that Adam could oppress Eve. And all throughout time, religion has been used as an excuse to oppress women. I believe that the only way to be truly religious is to have some independence of the mind. And the only judge of women cannot be men. It only can be God, because only God can judge all of mankind.
Personally, I am a Christian. I do believe in God and everything that comes with that. My entire life, I've been fascinated with the classical ideology and throughout my entire career, I've been working to unite the two ideas of classical ideology and Christianity. And like I said earlier, I do believe that human knowledge is, in fact, a gift from God and should be used to the fullest extent and expanded upon.
Well, yes, I am very religious, and I live in a nunnery actually. Most of the paintings I create depict strong women defending themselves and being independent. One of my paintings, Judith slaying Holofer, shows Judith defending herself, and another painting, Madonna and Child, shows the Virgin Mary, which is a symbol of motherhood and the power of love.
It's quite interesting to hear the various levels of religious involvement that our panelists have, and to some degree, it's safe to say that they all stem from Christianity. Now, after those first two topics, the third most sought after topic is a little juicier. It's all about love and relationship. Inquiring minds are dying to hear about the panelists' personal experience, as well as their idea of love and the act of courtship.
It's interesting that the topic of courtship and love and relationships has come up into discussion. I myself have experienced love when I met the love of my life, Laura. And although she was married, I knew for a fact that our love and our relationship was mutual, and that despite circumstances, she loved me too. I knew that full well. And it's because of this love that I poured my heart and my soul into over 300 Petrarchan sonnets. They're all dedicated to her, in her life and in her death. And I wrote these by starting them off with one theme and having them twist into another theme. And the twisting point, or the turning point, I called it the volta. It would start off happy, and then it would twist and turn to a darker, more sadder theme. And I wrote all of these on Laura's behalf. Historians say that the love between Laura and I was just perceived on my part, but that is not the case. I loved her with everything that I am, and I hope to meet her again someday in the heavens.
So, in love and relationships, I believe that marriage is very important. I respect marriage and that it's religious and it binds men and women together with God. What I don't believe in is once a woman gets married, that they're confined to being a domestic person. They're confined to not having their own ideas. They're confined to being basically a slave within their own home. I believe that men and women should be equals in a marriage, and that one person should not be more lower than the other.
You want to know how I feel about love and relationships? Let me tell you. I was raped. I really tried. It's a really touchy subject. My teacher, when I was in art school, raped me. And when I asked my father to file the report, he did. And then you know what the school had the nerve to do to keep me quiet? They tortured me with thumb screws. So I wouldn't say anything and pretended like it never happened. But I was raped by my teacher. And then, when the trial was over, my father had the audacity to welcome him back into our home like nothing happened. So how about that for love and relationships?
Ms. Gentileschi, thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing your story with us. I cannot imagine, and many of my viewers cannot imagine, what that must have been like for you. Can you share with us a little bit of how you coped with that assault?
How did I cope with the rape? I got back at my attacker through my artwork. I created pieces of women slaying men. Judith slaying Holofernes was exactly that. It was created on purpose to get back at my attacker. It's a picture
depicting Judith grabbing Holofernes' neck and stabbing him with a knife.
Viewers, can we give our panelists a nice round of applause? Thank you so much for being on the show today and for just bringing us a little bit of insight into your life and discussing these very sometimes difficult topics of education, religion, love, and relationship. Our heart goes out to you for your experiences with trauma, for your experiences with love, and just for your experiences and your life in general. Again, thank you so much for being on today's episode of the Meeting of the Great Minds. And viewers, stay tuned for next week. We're going to have a hoppin' show. Thank you, and have a great night.